Hi everyone, I'm Sharon Boyd from Canoodle CX, which is a customer experience agency. My very first role was taking calls in a contact centre from customers who had technical faults, and I then went on to train others to be phone ready, and then set up and led support teams, one team which was in India while I was in the UK. So I've had fair exposure to not only the fear of picking up a call to a live customer for the very first time, which can be daunting, but also to the scale up and the change of mindset when you need to lead and cultivate a new support team. So here's a couple of tips for you. Firstly, think about how you're going to set up your team and the call routing. You want this to be as seamless as possible, especially as one of the most important aspects for customers is to have their issue sorted first go. Try to avoid passing calls about if possible. So think about what kind of queries a customer might have and sort and train your team this way. Are all your team trained to answer every question, to generalise, or are there going to be some experts? If so, you might want to set the experts up as what we would call a second line, i.e. your first line team takes the general calls and only if they can't resolve them to then get passed on to the experts, the second line team. How your team is set up should definitely be revisited. Your team will flex and so will the calls. Make it clear when you recruit that call takers will be on the phone. Sounds obvious, but sometimes gets missed. Ask questions to observe empathy, can-do attitude and tenacity. You want people who can resolve your customers' issues and leave them wowed. If you don't, your competitors will, so bring in the people who like people. Again, obvious, but not always. Make sure your front end message and your IVR work for you. Ensure that any pre-recorded messages are clear, up to date and are relevant for a large proportion of callers. Role play and coach side by side or hip to hip as it's known. Playback calls together, talking through both sides of the conversation and how the customer may have felt at the start, the middle and the end of the call. Keep asking the call taker if the caller went away satisfied, happy or wowed, and if none of the above, then why? And what could the call taker, or sometimes the company, do to change that next time round? Measure on the basics, the greeting, the ending, an apology or empathy shown if applicable, the rapport built and that the issue was resolved. That is 5 points that should be there for the majority of calls. Think about what else you measure. You can't push for quality if you're also pushing your team to answer all of their calls under 60 seconds, for instance. So think about whether it's better for customers to wait a little longer for their call to be answered. If they're going to get quality, they need to get quality if they're going to wait, or if your business type needs the calls resolved more quickly. Keep an eye on your abandonment rate because this will help guide your thinking there. It's a really good indicator. Build a knowledge base of resolutions. This allows your team to have answers at their fingertips as they can search for information about what the customer is calling about. Find ways to keep it dynamic and updated. Give it a firm owner to ensure there is always quality. Out-of-date knowledge articles will mean frustrated employees and frustrated customers, so keep revisiting this all the time. Also keep revisiting your training. Use buddies so there's always someone there to check in with, especially after a difficult call. Debriefing can be really useful. A key point is to reduce your calls. You'll need data to do this. This is why correct call logging is so important. Give someone accountability for reducing calls. Understand, resolve and then reduce your main call drivers, unpicking and fixing the issues that drive the largest volume of calls. Involve your team in this. They know what the biggest pain points are for your customers and quite often they want to help. Keep everyone talking in the team, connected and try to have a little fun. Good luck!